Man, you know what I love? This fucking game. This game is good, alright? I love it. But I discovered something rather shocking in the reviews section. So you'll see this is very positive. 87%. This is pretty good. Pretty good. But if you scroll down to the reviews, you'll find not recommended. Everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean like in a couple of places. And I was like, it's reasonable. People disagree. It happens. But I wondered why they disagree. And so I was like, I might as well read the reviews. And I was pretty disappointed. So, yeah. This guy. And comparing it to other roguelike games, it doesn't hold up because it's lacking in depth. Yes, the roguelike is lacking in depth. I'm tragically sorry. Lacking in content, with how much content is in the game, although it was made in 3 days, is incredibly. That's just expecting way too much. All right, you got to respect how much they put in there, and variety. These two loop together. Also, depending on how good you are at the game, yes, it is. There's a decent amount of variety, enough to keep you entertained for a good couple hours. Oh, and then another thing, the UI looks very unpolished. Guess what? All right, it just graphics are they. As long as they don't melt your eyes, graphics don't matter at all. Because let's look in recent years. Yeah, all those games with beautiful graphics are totally good games. Yeah, love those games. All right. How about this one? Bad. Just no. Okay, bad. Too easy. So boring. Easy until you get bored and stop playing, then you die because you stop. Bad game. Don't get bad. Okay, bad, just bad. I see. Let's just put that one over there. I just don't want to. I don't even want to comment on that one. Let's see this guy. Died in the first minute I was playing during the tutorial. 1 minute. This game sucks. First lesson. There is no tutorial, so get that out of here. Second lesson. The game doesn't suck. You suck at the game. Alright. Let's look at the reviews. Now, again, I may be complaining in the wrong place because look at the overwhelming blue there is here. But still, I just feel like it's a necessary evil that I have to point this out. Because it's shocking how dumb some of these reviews are. Like, hold on, there was one over here. It took it to a new level. That's the Zugrat one. Okay. Alright, let's see. Okay. Ugh, it's so hard to swim through the sea of good stuff. Now this guy I can slightly agree with, but well, I can agree with this first line right here. It isn't a bad game, it isn't, but it isn't close to being worth $15. That's why I bought it when it was on sale for $3. But still, I would probably pay like $7 for it. It's pretty good. But this man decided to say some incredible shit. So I'm just going to read the comments because they got the quotes. One man over here named Dragon Lady. Okay, wait, get the fuck out of here. Alright, you could start with a better jumping ability as your optional perk, but assuming you don't, you're at the mercy of RNG to find jumping upgrades. RNG? In a roguelike? Shocked, I tell you. There's nothing else you can say about it. I don't recommend it because the only actual control over your destiny is skill in combat. And he's right, you've lost all your credibility to review games because it's skill-based. How absurd. Alright. That was one of my favorite ones. Because it was just, oh. Oh, it was great. Too repetitive for a roguelike? Roguelikes center around being repetitive. Yeah. You played it for 8 hours. You've explored all that can be explored. It's not something that had as much work put into it as something like Binding of Isaac. No, no. This is a decent experience for how it was made. Is there anything else I want to look at? Let's see here. No? Nothing? Come on. Oh, wait. Let's see. This one's really boring, though. Alright. No, there was a different one that was really good. That one's basically saying the same thing as the other one. Oh yeah, this one. He is explaining what a permadeath game needs to be tolerable. And dude, it's bad. So he says, number one, each playthrough must have potential to be a unique experience. That can be said for literally any game, even a AAA game. Like, but he says on this point the game partially succeeds, as there's small variation in level order, with each level made up of a series of several distinct rooms or chambers, which are again randomly selected from a pool. However, many of these rooms are similar, and it will not take you long to become familiar with all of them. That's what happens. I mean, what do you want? It's whatever. But yeah, the game succeeds in having potential to be a unique experience because, yeah, of course your first fucking 40 runs are going to be a unique experience if you actually play it 40 times. But, like, of course you'll start memorizing everything. Ask me, I've memorized every single room that can appear in Binding of Isaac, like Afterbirth Plus. Every single room. I've memorized almost every single item and what they do. Like, it just happens after you play things. Number two, the game must be relatively short. I've reached the 5th level so far, and although this may be close to the end for all I know, it is still too far to feel entirely happy about starting again from the beginning. I can beat the game in 5 minutes. Okay, not 5, that's actually really fast. I can beat the game in 8 minutes, and if you want me to get the true ending, I can beat it in 10. Like, it's a short game. You just suck at it. The difficulty must be reasonable and consistent throughout. Okay, now listen. Difficulty in this game, it depends on exactly 2 things. It depends on whether or not you're good at the game, you know, as in you know how to shoot things and jump around and be mobile and pretend you're playing Doom 4. And then there is being lucky with what enemies you get. For example, spin bots will take a quarter of your health in the first level if you get hit by them, and you will probably die if you get swarmed by them. So just don't get swarmed by them. That's where the first part comes in. Just don't get hit by them, because you're good at the game. Except you're probably not. All right. What does he say exactly? Happen to run in the wrong direction, liable to receive, of damage all in one moment, and die. And start again from the beginning when it really isn't even your fault. That is what you just described. Running in the wrong direction, you're liable to get damage, and yes, that is your fault. You did it. Like, you could have ran in the correct direction, not the wrong direction. But, oh well. Due to a certain portion of the enemies, turrets, that's another thing that they talk about. They're like, oh, the only thing you fight in this game are the turrets and robots. I'm like, cool. Except, you know, there's fucking 30 different robots and several different turrets that will kick your ass. Like, no. All of the turrets are pretty much entirely different as well. Like, the setup of the rooms are different. You can have lasers coming out of the walls sometimes. Sometimes the walls will be moving. You'll get little, like, pillar things coming down trying to knock you in lava. It's like, yes, the rooms are different and the enemies are different. Just because they're robots doesn't mean anything. Ugh. Oh, wait, he's talking about distracting explosion effects? The explosions are not that big, you idiot. If you manage to run in the wrong direction and you try to blame it on explosion effects, you, like, no. You suck at the game. You let yourself die. Okay. Has some quirky humor. I'll admit that. The game has random stories loaded up, and there's a lot of random stories, and some of them are pretty funny. Plenty of Easter eggs to find, and a generally appealing steampunk-esque look and feel. That's another thing. The feel of the gameplay is great. Like, don't listen to anyone who tells you this game runs like shit. If the game runs like crap, it's because their computer or their PlayStation or their Xbox sucks, and it can't run games for anything. Can't run games for the life of itself. This game, it runs for me the only time that it starts running slowly is when I'm playing on Endless and I'm on my third run. Like, no. In the beginning, it runs smoothly. The controls are responsive as all hell. It's so hard to say the controls are bad because they're so simple, they're responsive, it feels nice, and it fits. It works. Alright. So what's he say next? But there is no point in this game where you feel your reflex and cunning have helped you survive. Rather, it alternates between dumb luck when you enter a room and routine cleanup operations once you know where the guns are. Know where the guns are. The guns have an incredibly low chance of spawning. There's no specific area. And, just saying, yes, it does you have to know how to fucking kill things. Reflex and cunning do have things to do with it. Having dumb luck means you suck at the game, and the only time you can ever win is when you get lucky. Like, do you not know the difference? There was one more on here that I remembered being awful. Alright, it's one of these, I think. Yep, here it is. Tower of Guns feels awful to play. The movement has this weightlessness to it, and the jumping is nauseatingly floaty. Additionally, the guns I got had to use all the impact and response of a Nerf gun made of helium. Okay, allow me to explain why game mechanics exist and why they are game specific. Alright, so the reason why your jump is floaty is because of how you move. Alright? The game is about going fast. If you jump in the air, you move faster. The reason you stay in the air and float for a little bit is so you can cover more ground to go faster. Another thing, when he's like, oh man, there's no kick in the guns, it's so dumb. The reason there's only kick in specific guns is because you could fly. You could literally fly through the air if, like, the machine gun had all the kick in the world. You could start flying through the air and just get anywhere you wanted, and that's why the guns don't have kick, because you are floaty. I mean, Jesus Christ. And if you want to say they don't have impact and response due to the visuals, that's a fucking lie. The guns are fucking going everywhere whenever you're shooting them. Like, dude. And if you're complaining again about, like, what? Vibration? Like, dude, no. There's really nothing you complain about how the game was made to be. Also, if it's nauseatingly floaty, that's your problem, not the game's. Anyway, he finishes off by saying there's nothing super wrong with Tower of Guns, just feels very weak and unsatisfying to play, which in my opinion is completely wrong. Yeah. I'm sorry, what is this saying? You have one job if you make a shooter game, and that's to make the shooting good. Everything else, the story, the graphics, the progression, everything is gravy to the delicious meat that is the shooting. If your weapons feel like squirt guns, or your enemies don't bother to react to being shot, there's precious little that can salvage your game. Tower of Guns is certainly named like it understands this fact, but I can assure you it very much does not. That's another thing. People bitch about how the enemies respond to being shot. Let me explain something. If you shoot a robot with a fucking pea gun, do you think it's going to stagger backwards? Do you think it will, like, cry out, ow, or something? No. It will continue to float after you. Oh, it's so dumb. They expect the dumbest shit, and they're not gonna get it. Like, how? How do you expect these things? Oh, let me just, these guys have read it, so, also you're complaining about difficulty? Woof. Yeah. He's, this guy, let me see. Let's see. Where does he talk about difficulty? The titular. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Your hitbox appears to be thinner than a goddamn club cracker. That's a fucking lie. You'll get nailed by goddamn everything if you aren't careful. Ugh. Like, if he wants to complain about fucking difficulty, start endless mode and get to your 4th run of the game. Then it'll be fucking difficult. I got fucking one-shot by a spin bot when I had +6 health. God damn. Alright, so wait, you think the guns feel like squirt guns? This is the first shooter game you've ever played that doesn't have hit scan weapons? Yeah. Alright, I feel like I'm done here. I feel like I've made my point. I feel pretty good. Alright. Just pick up the game. It's pretty fun. I'd recommend, well, I guess I'm weird. If you're a PC gamer, just play with a mouse and keyboard. If you're someone like me, who doesn't really like mouse and keyboard all that much, just plug up a fucking controller. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. What's this? Let's look at a positive one. Incredibly difficult. At some points it does become incredibly difficult. Want to break your mouse. Borderlands, with elements from Binding of Isaac and Risk of Rain. Nostalgia reminds me of Unreal Tournament. This game is made in UDK, and it's pretty amazing. The game is worth the money. Had to spend hours trying to find every secret to unlock more perks and guns. Must get for a roguelike fan. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good explanation of the game, actually. Because yes, it's got nice little graphics reminding you of Borderlands. Feels like the Binding of Isaac and Risk of Rain with how fucking bullshit it is. Ugh. And I never played Unreal Tournament, so I can't really say anything about that. But yeah, just play it. It'll take you a while to get all of the guns. And there is exactly 2 glitches that I know of that still exist today. One glitch, well actually there's 3 because one glitch, I've only gotten 2 of them, but 3 of them exist. One of the glitches is you will be spawned before the stage starts in a little room with the original spawn thing, and that will immediately stop your run and you'll have to restart, which has happened to me once in my game, just a couple, like, literally yesterday. Which is sad, but you know what, it always happens on your second run because it happens in the little arena place that you go to. So it's just, you kind of got to deal with it. The second glitch is, apparently, I'm assuming this is how it works, if you kill enough things at once within the battlements, if you kill an entire room fast enough, then all of the shooter enemies and shooter bullets on your guns will not shoot anything, except for the flamethrowers. The flamethrowers still shoot. And so that glitch will last until you quit the game. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fucking ridiculous. Because then you can just run through and kill everything without taking any damage, except the spin bots and the explosive bots and the tiny little bots that run at you and the flamethrowers. I don't like the flamethrowers at all. They're bad. But, oh yeah, and the last glitch. You can glitch out of the map on the last level to skip the final boss, which in my opinion, if you're having a good run, you might as well just not do it, because the game's basically the same either way. Alright, but that's all from me today. Play Tower Guns. It's a good game. Just do it. It's a good game. Made by Terrible Posture Games. My brother and I made a gun. It's a pretty good gun. Lots of bullets. Giant. Mama Spinbot is not that big anymore. Alright. I'll see you all later.